Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, NFL Week 5 recap. The NFL about to get capped. NBA preseason, including Chris Bosh putting the heat on Miami, and some WWE updates starting now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is Debates Among Friends live on Mixlr. Like us on our Facebook page and our Twitter handle at Debates Among Friends. Tonight is the 23rd edition of this podcast. Professor John Gotti and the Doctor are here to provide you with our views on the sports world. Let's do this, buddy.
Let's do it, Bobby. How you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good, man. Seeing that you was able to get to the studio out of your limousine, getting picked up, styling, profiling, and woo, ready for a debate.
Absolutely, and I know we had a pretty boring week in sports, but I mean, I guess there were some little stories out there that I guess we could cover tonight. NFL?
We can try.
We can definitely try. Yeah, I mean, NFL Week 5. We had a few good games. Everybody won pretty decent space games. There were a few 3-point games. The game that jumped out to me the most, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Let's go.
It was the finish. The finish. I'm not sure if anyone's seen it out there. San Diego Chargers versus the Oakland Raiders.
Talking about a nail-biting victory. Oakland is that gritty team that you always want to see every single season. They always manage to pull it out at the end, and it was able to do that. It was a shootout. I mean, good old JR like to say it was a slobber knocker, and I could put
slobber knocker. It was so weird because I was just saying how, with Roberto Aguayo struggling so much in Tampa, which I'll definitely get away. No.
We'll get there.
Use that to build it. I was saying that I felt like maybe Roberto needed the placeholder from college to hold for him to actually build confidence to hit kicks. But for the Chargers, they actually did have the holder that held for him in college.
They did.
He muffed the snap, sir.
He did.
I was like, oh my God. I know Phillip Rivers is like, trade me right now.
Or get this guy out of my team.
Get him out of here. That was so terrible. I would have hated to lose that way. It was so close. But speaking of close games, obviously, now we can jump right into the Bucs game because that's what we really want to talk about.
Wait, we do?
I do.
I know you do. Let's talk about it. I mean, great people always say defense wins championships.
They do. It was a big defensive game, or was it a poor offensive game? And
I'm
that's what we
did. Both.
It was terrible. I will say,
on one hand, yes, your Buccaneers, they got some picks. They got to the QB. But at the same time, I mean, it was Derek Anderson. I mean, they got a lot of turnovers.
But Derek Anderson has been a buck killer for the last couple of years. He's destroyed us.
Yeah, but he hasn't played.
It never matters.
Come on.
It never matters. I mean, once they say Cam's not playing, it seems like they do this on purpose every year. Like, oh, Cam could take this night off for playing against the Bucs. Let Derek Anderson get some shine in, which he had a pretty good game until the fourth quarter interception, really. I mean, there's some other ones, but that fourth quarter one was really bad. Fourth quarter one was really bad.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I mean, for me, the thing that really was jarring in regards to Derek Anderson's game was that fumble that he did. And he wasn't even hit when he fumbled the ball.
And I mean, I just felt like the game was really, really close. I never expect the Bucs to play in those close games because I always get worried. And as a Bucs fan, looking at the Bucs fans on Twitter, it was like, oh my God, I was clutching my heart the whole game because we play great first half football, like where we hold them, and then when we get to that second half, it's almost like we're gassed. We forget our assignments, so on and so forth. But I was happy to see that in the fourth quarter, on a third, and I think 3 or 4, we were able to stop them, get the ball back, drive down the field to give Roberto another chance.
Yeah, boy.
I just don't understand how the most accurate kicker in NCAA history is struggling so bad.
I mean, it's the darndest thing.
Driving me nuts. It's just so crazy. And that's why I just start thinking of different ways to actually get him to hit these kicks. It's like, my goodness, come on. We need this. We need these points. He left, what,
He
nine
got
points?
9 points.
9 points on the board.
9 points. Each of them shaking either left or right.
I can see if it hit the goalpost. Cool. But we're talking wide left, wide right. What are you doing out there? Come on, man.
I'm pretty sure that was a come on man moment, actually.
It was, because you're a kicker. And like I think I told you during the week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, kickers and punters don't get a pass when they go from the NCAA to NFL.
Yes, actually, that was today.
It was today.
That was today.
Perfect. I said it. I stick to it. They don't get a pass.
It's on the tapes now. Don't worry about it.
Perfect. They don't get a pass. But there were some other pretty good games. You had the Rams versus the Bills, which I don't know. The Rams,
are the Rams as good as they seem?
I don't think
or
so.
Because of their schedule.
I know that they lost. So I mean, I think they're not going to the playoffs again. Their conference is too rough. Their division is rough. It goes back to what you said a while ago. I think this might have been before the podcast even started, like well before. Maybe I would say we're in the 20s. Probably be about 30 weeks now. We were talking podcast episodes. You made a statement about Jeff Fisher.
Ooh,
and how you didn't understand how he kept getting jobs over and over. And I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I thought he did great with the Titans all those years, but to give him another chance is kind of ridiculous. Like, I can see somebody like Tom Coughlin, maybe, but Jeff Fisher never really stood out to me.
When was the last time Jeff Fisher was in the playoffs?
I think Eddie George was still playing.
Exactly.
I mean, it's been a while since they made the playoffs. And it's crazy because there's so many great coaches out there that just don't get the chance they deserve.
Nope.
And we're about to see a change. Going back to coaches, we're about to see a change probably in San Diego coming very soon, where Mike Boyle will be out because he's just not winning the games. He's just not winning.
But I mean, is it because there was close games? I mean, like, I would be okay if it was close games. Like, at least they're competing, and it's just a blunder at the end of the game. Instead of you're coming into the game and you're basically the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and laying down on their backs and taking it all night long.
Well, who's taking it on me? Honestly, the Chargers. I was about to say, who's taking it here the worst? The Rams or the Chargers? When you really think about it,
the Chargers. It was a close game, though.
I don't know. Well, it wasn't a close game. The Rams not having any points until you play the Bucks isn't anything to celebrate. Yeah, they scored 30-something points on us, but it isn't anything to celebrate because we're not there yet defensively. The fact that we helped the Carolina Panthers to 14 points was amazing to me with the injuries that we have. But the Rams are going to eventually have to look and say, what's working, what's not working, who do we have to fire around here to take our team to the next level? And I think the Chargers are going to have to say the same thing. The Chargers are going to have to sit there and say, hey, maybe it's time we move on from Mike McCoy. Maybe it's time to consider moving on from Phillip Rivers.
You know what? And normally we are always agreeing with each other. And sometimes I disagree because this is debates among friends, so agree to disagree. But I completely agree with you because I think it's time for a change of the guards out there.
Just like in that same draft where he was supposed to go, the New York Football Giants, most likely, people are saying
it was the New York Football Giants.
It was. People are saying, hey, maybe it's time we get rid of Eli Manning, who, again, the New York Giants lost 23-16 to the Packers. Nothing taken away from the Packers. They're a great football team. I know a few Packer fans out there. They're listening to the podcast and they're cheering us on right now. And my thing is, should the Giants organization ask for their money back for those defensive guys that they brought in?
I still say yes, just
Oh
because
my.
of the preseason. I don't know. It's like the Giants. It's like they're day and night.
They are.
Like, okay, here's a great analogy. The Giants are the same way as your two favorite pitchers you love to send me, which is the Cam Newton towels.
Oh man, Cam Newton towel. We're trying to make the Cam Newton towel the new Jordan crying meme, and if we can do that, we could propel ourselves to the next level.
The next level? I
The
mean,
next
are you
level.
talking galactic?
I am. I mean, I'm talking. Maybe we go in and we take over for Stephen A. The next level.
Stephen A, I'm calling you out. I want your seat.
He wants your seat, and I just want to be. I just want to be there because I know that the professor is the man.
I don't think people like to debate with me. I don't know why. I'm such a nice guy, though.
I mean, we do this for a living. I mean, but the Giants, though, really, though. I mean,
I'm the Filipino champ of
oh,
debating.
yeah, download, delete.
Shout out to Infiltration.
Shout out to infiltration. Not that percent infiltration.
Oh, no! He didn't say that. He didn't say that at all. He didn't say that. He said nothing. Moving on. Moving on.
But the Giants used to struggle. Their offensive line used to struggle heavily, and I used to always worry about the defense, the offensive line. Defensive line's always been good, but this defensive line isn't really getting that recognition.
They're not.
You know, they upgraded all over the place, but I don't feel like this is a top 5, top 10 defense right now.
They're not.
And
And we have the stats to prove it, too.
and unfortunately, we have to wait because the Giants are always a mid to late season team.
Yes.
But when you got a Cowboys team who's playing so great right now,
Let's talk about the elephant in the room right now.
I wish we had a certain fan on named J5, but
Oh no!
you know how that
The
goes.
doctor is calling out J5 live on the air, talking about the Cowboys. So I know I can hear J5 in my ear right now. He's gonna say, "Doctor, how about them Cowboys?" Because they won.
I was very happy with the Cowboys because I mean,
impressive
yes,
fashion.
it was pretty impressive. They shut down the phenomenal AJ Green, the phenomenal one, the real phenomenal one.
Oh no,
Yes,
no.
not your favorite wrestler AJ, not your manager AJ.
Speaking of not your favorite, Debates Among Friends is brought to you tonight by Not Your Father Ginger Ale, small town brewery. Pick it up at your local grocery store.
Delicious.
But speaking of the Cowboys, I mean, are they legit, Doctor?
Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. I heard yesterday and this morning Jerry Jones get on with his deep Texas accent and say, Tony is our quarterback. And once Tony's healthy, he's going to come on here because we're going to use his experience and he's going to come in here and he's going to lead us to the Super Bowl.
That's the true elephant in the room. Let's talk about that for a few minutes before we continue on. Actually, let's stop talking about the Cowboys win. Let's just talk about the Cowboys themselves, actually. Because that right there is a lot more important because I've been talking to people because I reside out here in Texas. I'm not a Cowboys fan. But I talk to a lot of Cowboys fans out here. And I ask the same question. And people are screaming in my ear right now. It's kind of buzzing. My ear's kind of bleeding a little bit, so I got to tell them to stop it.
Stop it.
They want to know. And what I kept asking the people is, Tony Romo gets healthy. Does he start? Doctor, what is your thoughts on that?
According to Jerry Jones, which is why the Cowboys do not succeed. I don't want to. I'm trying to hold back a little bit, but this is why the Cowboys do not succeed wholeheartedly. Is because Jerry Jones doesn't stay in the box. He's the P Diddy of the NFL.
Bad boys.
If you want your GM all on the field, all in your offensive meetings, come on down to Dallas, because that's the way it is. Now, for your owner and GM to come out and say, "Hey, we're right behind Tony." We don't know what Jason Garrett says. We don't know what Jason Garrett thinks, but clearly from the past coaches, Jerry Jones is always looking for these yes men.
And I was going to say that too. I was going to say a lot of the rumors through the grapevine actually state that Jason Garrett's more of a yes man because he has such an intimate relationship with Jerry Jones.
And that's the part that kind of sucks because now it's like your team is rolling with
Yes.
Dak Prescott. Don't get me wrong. Tony makes some great plays,
He does.
but let me tell you what Tony's experience will not get you, and that is a Super Bowl.
I was gonna say at least a Super Bowl appearance. I wasn't even
Tony's experience is not going to get you a Super Bowl. He gets you to the playoffs, and I've always said this. Love Tony during the season. Tony during the season is great.
Yes.
I will pick Tony every week 1 through 17. I will pick Tony Romo to be my starting quarterback for any fantasy team. But once you hit that playoffs, that wild card, that championship, whatever it is, that divisional round, doesn't matter what it is, whatever it is.
He didn't go past the wild card. Let's just pump up brakes right there. Let's just
Whatever it
ease
is.
it back a little bit. I
Whatever
mean, the
it
Cowboys fans are yelling in my ear, telling me to stop hating.
We're not hating.
I'm stating
Telling
the
the truth.
facts.
Let Dak and Zeke go wild on the NFL because
I completely
that's
agree.
what it's going to be. I mean, I think Dak could get them to at least.
The NFC Championship. That's what I think.
It just depends.
I think he gets better with each week.
Do you want to know why I say that? The only reason I say that it's not because of the offense. It's because of that defensive line.
Yes.
That Cowboys defensive line is not that great, and if a team was to show that, like a team hasn't really shown that yet, that defensive line isn't great.
Well,
The linebackers are good. The secondary's okay.
yes and
The
no.
defense-
Okay, hold
the
on.
line is just okay. They're just okay.
Yes and no. So, I've seen the tapes. I watched the games live on TV. They kept showing the replay, and I noticed it. And I even talked to Jay Bob about it a couple of times.
J5.
And I've mentioned your defensive line giving up between 6 to 12 yards per running play for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I had to put a quick number crunched into it, I'd probably say 71.111, repeating, of course, of the time. They give up a big chunk. Like, it could be 1st and 10, and they'll gain 13 yards.
And that's the thing. I mean, and I think they're better on the run than they are on the pass. And I think when you get to the playoffs and you start dealing with those Green Bays and those teams that pass a lot, you know, even the Falcons who are looking, they're looking really good. Although the Bucks beat them, and you know, I'm sure they want that back. But
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
same thing with the Cowboys. They want the Giants lost back too.
they want that back. And of course, now looking at the Giants and the way they're playing, of course you want that back. But I just don't think that defensive line with Crawford, you know, McLean, and you know Benson, Mayawo, and there's some other guys there.
Yep.
I just don't know if they'll be able to create that pressure that they need to take it to the next level. And that's where I think, because I think you put, you know, Morris Claiborne might have some great games, but at the end of the day, I think that defensive line's really got to step it up for the defensive backs to have a better season. And that's why they're getting toasted out there when they do get toasted.
Yes.
But, I mean, other than that, I mean, Cowboys look good. Shout out to Zeke. Got me a lot of points. Shout out to my Cole Beasley. Got me a lot of points on fantasy. You know, got me a little win. Got me a little change. You know, so I was rooting for them. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Love me some of the phenomenal AJ Green. But
boy.
I was very happy that Zeke went off. I was very happy that, you know, Cole Beasley got in the end zone.
Yep. Cole Beasley's still the top receiver in the league.
And I'll continue to draft him if he continues to give me some numbers. But what happens at that point when Dez comes back?
Exactly.
Which goes to a point that I made on Twitter with this current winning streak. I wonder
At
how
TL Double.
at TL Double, at Debate Amongst Friends, at Ken86, the Professor John Gotti, does this winning and the way they're playing. I felt that this should make Tony and Dez expendable. That's what I said. You asked me what I meant by that. What I meant by that literally was, should they start leveraging? Because I don't think Dez is a top 5 receiver. I've said that. I'm sticking to it. Just like I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. is a top 5 receiver. I'm saying it. I'm sticking to it. Tony's not a top 10 quarterback.
Tony, oh boy,
saying it.
fired.
I'm saying it. I'm sticking to it. And Dak has the potential to one day be a top 10 quarterback in this league off of the games that he's played and the way they're letting him run the system.
Yes.
They're playing a system that works for him, unlike some of the other quarterbacks. And we talk about Jameis all the time. I was happy with some of the work they did. Some of the play calling wasn't too good. I didn't really like that too much. I've always questioned the Giants' play calling. Not sure why the heck they hired their offensive coordinator as a head coach. I don't know. You know what I mean? It never makes sense to me why certain people do what they do. But the Cowboys are doing it right with Dak Prescott, and they hit a home run with drafting Zeke. I thought they were going to go Jalen Ramsey in the first round, which would have solved their defensive back problem that they were having. But I think drafting Zeke was the right choice, honestly.
Absolutely. And Dak was a steal.
And now looking back with the Chargers, who drafted Joey Bosa, and he, just now really getting into camp, into football shape. That kind of sucks for them. But we're going to see. I mean, we got to keep looking at this football. I think give it to about week 7, week 8, and we'll start seeing people break from the pack. I'm sure that's when we'll start seeing the Giants play better, hopefully. Hopefully the Bucs continue to win. That's what I'm always hoping. I'm sure J5's hoping that the Cowboys continue to win, because Lord knows we would hate to see the fall of the Cowboy and the Star.
You mean the same thing that Stephen A. Smith, shout out to Stephen A. Smith, that's Stephen A. Smith on Twitter, always says at the beginning of every single year, that the Cowboys always find a way to beat themselves.
And they do. But the way they're going to beat themselves is by inserting Tony Romo into the lineup. But really quickly, I know we got to move on to another topic. I know we were going to go over Greg Hardy.
But the other big news, actually, because we're going to have to go into our next subject in the little
Right, absolutely.
The other big news is, as you so eloquently stated, the NFL's getting capped.
So Captain Hardy. So let's start with Cap first. Cap's getting the start this week for the San Francisco 49ers, where everybody wrote him off. Everybody compared him to several other players, NBA players, and people who never got a chance to get their career going after standing up and protesting. Now, the one thing I will say, this is a do or die. They put him in a very peculiar situation.
Absolutely.
A do or die, because if he doesn't succeed, they've changed his contract now, and I don't know if you saw that, for a 1 year. This is a 1 year deal now.
Yes, it's either a make it or break it situation.
I mean, I really think he's going to be successful, and I'm praying for his success because I know that he's a good quarterback. I don't know what Chip Kelly was thinking, putting Blaine Gabbert, even before this, even considering putting Blaine Gabbert in the game, and considering and continuing to put Blaine Gabbert in the game. Chip Kelly should be fired right now.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Chip Kelly should be fired right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing Cap. I think he's going to be really successful. I think this is going to help Carlos Hyde. I think it's going to help Torrey Smith.
Yep.
I think they needed Cap. Nobody believes deep down in their heart that Blaine Gabbert is going to run the ball effectively on them. So why even consider and take that fake seriously?
I still go by my guns in my reads when I said that the reason why Cap hasn't started for now was because of the controversy. Was because if they think about it like this, okay? Tebow Mania.
They could have went and got Tebow at that point.
Was running wild on the league for several years.
Mm-hmm.
Then he became bigger when he won the playoff game.
He did.
After a while, coaches were like, I mean, he has skills, but he can't throw in the pocket. He's not an accurate passer. He has all these issues. But he brings a lot of media attention. So let's bring him on, sit him on the bench. We don't need to play him. We don't have to play him. Same situation, I feel like, with Cap.
But see, it's different because Cap can throw in the pocket. Cap has a strong arm. Cap is.
Tebow has a strong arm too. They're both just not accurate. That's the only problem. Hold on.
I would say Cap.
Cap is more accurate.
Cap
yes,
is
but
much more accurate.
But that was the problem he had the
previous
previous year, though, was the accuracy.
I think Cap has a stronger arm than Tebow.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not
I think
saying that.
he's
I'm not
faster
taking
than
anything away
Tebow.
from either
I
one. Oh.
oh, I heard it there. I heard we got to move on, but just to make sure, I just want to throw this in there. Cap is a better quarterback than Tebow. Coming out of college, he's better. He ran a better system. Actually, they ran the same system in college, but he's just a better player, and
Absolutely.
Broncos just weren't prepared for it. But just quick on Greg Hardy switching from NFL to MMA, I guess a chance to take out his anger. Would you agree with that? Just a chance for him to actually. It's not about money anymore. It's
It's
about
not
taking out
about
his
money.
anger.
I think it's just him proving, hey, I can do this to people. Because the naysayers is just saying, he's a distraction. He's poisonous in the locker room. He's like, well, I mean, look what else I can do. Like, I don't need this. That, like, for me, that's what I feel like. He's just trying to prove, hey, I can do this without you. I don't need the NFL. The NFL needs me.
And then MMA is just like, oh god, here we go. We just got CM Punk out of here, and now we got Greg Hardy thinking that he could just come in and do this.
I'm mad that you went there.
I had to go there because
I'm mad
CM
that you
Punk,
went there.
he
Shout
talked a
out
lot
to
of trash.
CM Punk.
He took a lot of trash, and then last time he manned up, his jaw got still straight swell. Just saying.
All I can remember is just, we'll talk about that when we go into the rest of them. Let's move on. MLB, we had two teams, both get swept actually, in the wild card round of the MLB playoffs.
Which is
We don't have
bittersweet.
Mr. October, who makes the ladies scream and yada yada yada.
Yes.
The Texas Rangers, they got swept. People on the radio decided not to talk about them because they want to talk about the Cowboys because their starting pitching stinks. Their ace pitching stunk. Their relief pitchers actually was the bright spot.
Yeah.
Their batting, abysmal.
Abysmal.
They
I
had
mean, I'll give.
nothing.
I mean, the other game was bittersweet for me. Like I told you guys when Mr.
Hey, Doctor,
October was
you want
on.
me to tell you what Chelsea told me?
What did she? Don't you bring Chelsea into this?
She told me the Rangers were good, but that other team was way better. And you know what? They're 60-minute men, baby.
Woo! But the one thing I'll say, it was bittersweet watching, just seeing the Red Sox versus the Indians. Like I said, major Big Papi fan. Always loved those older Red Sox teams. But I've always been deep down in my heart, I've always followed the Indians. Again, back to the Manny Ramirez, Kenny Lofton days.
And you can also check the tape too. The Doctor did.
Yeah, I did. I mean, obviously, I wanted them two to be at the top, but I mean, obviously, they had to play the first series, which kind of sucks. But I mean,
you gotta be bold to win the gold, boys.
And how sweet it is for Big Daddy to have that gold.
Oh,
But just looking at it, I mean, obviously, the Red Sox put up a pretty good fight, unlike what you're saying about the Rangers.
They only led, and the only reason I know this is the fact that they played it in every single bar, every single restaurant that I went to, so it was kind of hard for me not to watch it. But they only led for 2 innings throughout the whole 3 games. They only led for 2 innings.
Yeah, so I mean, we're definitely going to see what happens. October's still brewing, October's still going. This is the time that
Wait,
myself.
Did you just endorse Mr. October, or?
No, I said October is still going. This is our time to really embrace baseball at its best, where we're going to get the best teams. That's the one thing I do like about baseball is that you're going to get the best teams at the top of their game, although we didn't see that out of the Rangers. But credit the other team. I mean, they just played 60 minutes, 70 minutes. I don't know how long the baseball really is. I mean, when you really think about it.
It ranges from like
it
ranges.
ranges. So, I mean, give them credit for being the top dog to take down the Rangers. I mean, shout out to the Blue Jays, little Jays.
Hey.
But, I mean, I really just feel like this is one of those things where we won't know until we get closer to the stretch, because I'm sure a lot of these other series now are going to go a lot faster. I don't think we're going not faster, further. I don't think we're going to see much more sweeps. And I wish Mr. October was here so he can give us updated opinions on everything that's going on, because this is a lot of baseball. But I understand.
He'll be on next week.
Absolutely, I understand duty calls, and people have to do what they have to for duty. I know. But I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the rest of October has in store for us.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Let's hit up the National Basketball Association. We had some preseason stuff going on. We actually have a lot of injuries so far in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, I read this morning. First of all, shout out to the Rockets. But I read this morning that Anthony Davis went down
He did.
playing against the Rockets. Probably going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. I thought that was really, really bad right now because that team they're trying to gel. You know, they got some new people like Buddy Hield out there,
Mm,
and they're trying to really get it together.
yep.
But I thought the real one that I was really, really like, oh
Well,
my
actually,
goodness.
to just talk about Anthony Davis' work, I mean, the Pelicans is already without, Tyreek Evans. Well, yeah, Tyreek Evans, Quincy Pondexter, and Drew Holiday. Like, they're
Drew,
all injured.
I think Drew is one of those guys that's never really, really ever going to be healthy. He's one of those guys that he might have to just always be on the list because he's been hurt for a long time.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if we can count him. Those other guys definitely Tyreek Evans without question.
Absolutely. And
But
I'm just going to keep going through this one because I know one of them is the one that you want to talk about. Gordon Hayward of the Utah Jazz, he got hurt.
which is interesting because I read a report today that said that the Boston Celtics will still take him, even though they know he's out for a while. They still want him on their
Why
team.
not? He's a
I mean,
stud.
but I mean, he hurt. He got hurt. Who knows how he's gonna come back? You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
don't know. But they'll take him. And if I was the Jazz, I might consider taking that deal.
I would
Depending
go
on
for it.
who they're sending back. You know, it
Probably
depends.
Isaiah Thomas.
No, it's probably not gonna be Isaiah. It's
You know I was joking,
of course. Well, I
right?
mean, 'cause- well, they did just make a trade for Darn, but I'm not sure who would be. Obviously, it would be one of their young stars. They got some young players over there, but I don't know if the Celtics could really put anything player wise together
Yeah,
outside of like Marcus Smart, and like 2 or 3 first round picks because that's what everybody wants from the Celtics.
it's just the draft picks.
The
Other
draft
notable
pick.
ones, Reggie
Ben
Jackson.
Simmons. Yeah,
Hold on,
Reggie
I was gonna
Jackson,
go
Ben
there. I was
Simmons.
gonna go there.
You got to
And
get to
Chris
Ben
Middleton.
Simmons.
I was gonna say him last. I mean, it's the suspense.
No, you can't say him last. No suspense. No suspense. Let's just rip the band-aid off. The
All right,
76ers
Ben
fans don't want
Simmons fractured
suspense.
his foot
Oh my
during the
goodness.
final scrimmage game of camp. Just before his debut, there isn't a timetable
Do we
to return.
do we say Joel Embiid all over again?
Oh,
Do we have to wait 2 years to see this?
I mean that's a
Is that,
shame.
is that what to be determined means, Joel
Yeah.
Embiid?
I mean, well, I mean, they said Joel Embiid will be out for the season. Whenever
I mean,
they never said no timetable.
no, I'll skip that. They will
I mean,
go. I mean,
is there a curse for the 76ers?
yeah, the curse of keep drafting bigs. Draft some small forwards, some point guards, some shooting guards. Anyone
Yeah.
else?
Do Houston Rockets and get nothing but threes and fours.
Yes, because that apparently works to get people to the playoffs. Because that's all we're good at, getting to the 6 to 8 seed. That's what we're always working to get to, which is terrible, but that's what we do.
I'm feeling some saltiness over there, Doctor.
Very salty, pretzel. But it's all good. I mean, but other than that, I mean,
Let's
I
talk.
really,
What
I don't.
is your biggest shock other than the Ben Simmons injury? Biggest shock so far of the preseason?
Honestly, I mean, to stick with my Houston Rockets, man. I mean, they're playing some better defense, I would say. We've been scoring a lot of points, which we expected with Mike D'Antoni. But we're playing some really, really good, solid defense. We were up by, I think, 20 points at one point in this game. Despite it being a preseason game, the bench play in this particular preseason game would have been something that we would have to keep an eye on because that's where you would see the actual focus on defense. That, and I think all around, just watching and doing a lot of DraftKings, watching how teams are managing minutes, you know, I've noticed that like people like LaMarcus Aldridge, you know, certain bigs aren't really playing a lot, and That's the only part about the preseason, which I know that you yourself don't really count the preseason, and it's probably because of things like that.
Yes.
But I really think these guys need to be out there and they need to be gelling, and that's why I'm so happy with the Bucks. Not the Bucks. Wow, I'm so happy with the Rockets. Although the Bucks are playing well too, Jabari Parker did great, um, but the Rockets are doing a great job. Jabari Parker is playing great basketball. I got a chance to pick him in my DraftKings as well, and he really plays well too. I think they're going to be really good this year. Really, really good.
I still say they're the most dangerous team heading into the season.
I
Like
agree.
they have a lot of talent.
They do. The question is, can they put that talent together
Exactly.
cohesively to make a push? Can Jason Kidd rally them together?
But you know what I'm really excited about?
What's that?
I'm really excited for my Knicks.
I know you are, and I mean,
I'm
big
so
Knicks. I mean,
excited.
you're going to see the Knicks.
I will be. In 2 weeks, I will
Too
be
big.
out in New York City, in the Big Apple itself.
People can take a picture with
Watching.
the professor. They can just
You could actually, if
Yeah.
you manage to find me.
yeah, just let the people know where you're gonna be, and then they'll come take a picture with the professor.
I'll be hanging out with JJ, Pablo, and the rest of the crew
Nice,
of
nice.
the SPU basketball team, watching our Knicks take on the Memphis Grizzlies. We will win after we spoiled the King's return with his title,
I hope that happens for you.
and I can't wait.
I
I'm
really.
telling you, Professor Got Reads, hashtag Professor Got Reads, that's going to happen. We're going to be 2-0.
Okay, I mean, I'm hoping that this is what happens. Because if you go all the way out there and it doesn't happen, you yell at Phil Jackson because this is all his fault.
I will be up in Phil Jackson's face. I might get arrested, but
So
it's
the,
worth it.
so the people will know if you see a guy get arrested, you know that was the professor.
And if you hear someone scream out, "Sweet Ken,"
That's professor.
that would be me.
Absolutely.
But I'm
But
excited though. I mean, I was just speaking to J5 about this last night because he was showing me some of the highlights. I mean, there's a lot of that '90s flair that I've seen so far in the preseason. That
like Ric Flair? Like we're talking Ric Flair?
No, not that flair. First of all, woo!
Woo!
Second of all, that ain't the case.
Uh-oh.
But I'm talking about like Joakim Noah. Like I was telling him, like it kind of reminds me of a Charles Oakley sort of thing. That enforcer, that guy that's gonna get into people's faces.
Absolutely.
Like he's not exactly Oakley. First of all, no one's gonna be Anthony Mason
Mm-mm.
ever.
Never.
Stop it.
Ever.
And I was saying that Brendan Jennings kind of got that scrappiness, like one of my favorite players, John Starks.
True.
He just got that scrappiness, like, and he's a scorer too. So he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit the shot in your face and get in your face afterwards." Like, can't see me.
Oh, I can't
You
believe
can't see me.
you just did that. You went Cena on us. Wow. Wow. But I agree, though. I think the Knicks need that. I mean, hopefully they don't get overcome by, Derrick Rose's off the court issues. I
Which I
think
just read that the detective on the case actually was found dead.
wow, isn't that crazy?
Like, I'm just waiting for the people from Law and Order to come on.
Dun, dun. Now I did see yesterday they were saying that the judge was thinking about throwing the case out as
Yes.
a mistrial because of some text messages that weren't released or something that didn't come up.
There were text messages
but I mean-
that wasn't released, and there was also text messages insinuating that the plaintiff of the case basically is looking to ruin Derrick Rose's life.
Terrible.
And it's interesting because we've spoken about this with the Zeke Elliott case
Yes.
and about the vindictiveness that women can be. Not all women are like this.
No,
I'm trying to
absolutely.
say
We're
this, debates
debatable
among friends, we
friends.
love our
I
women.
like that.
And
We
as
love
the
the-
doctor loves to say, Judy's and Bootios, and
Oh.
we're going to leave it at that.
Yikes. That's the professor's line. But no, I hope that I hope that they let it go. Because I'm okay when people are guilty. I'm okay with that. Hey, let them do their due diligence. Let them pay the price for their crime. But
Absolutely.
when they don't do it, and which none of us know what happened, but the people
None of us
involved.
know what happens, but the fact is, if someone's going to sit there and send a text message to someone saying, I'm going to ruin your life,
Right.
or I'm going to get you.
That person should go to jail if found. And if it goes in the favor of Derrick Rose, that lady should go to jail for wasting everybody's
Exactly.
time. But that's not how the justice system works.
That's
But
not how
that's how
that
it
works.
should.
But
That's how
then
it
the
should
worst part
work.
is these same athletes, even if they are innocent, is viewed upon by the media as some kind of slime.
Right.
Without having all the facts straight. Without whatever. But because there's some either personal bias or professional bias against certain athletes. And granted, there are athletes who are the scum of the earth. But those who are innocent and have the proof behind it, and everyone already finished shooting their mouths, like,
Right.
it's not worth it.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
get the facts first and then say your opinion. Don't just say, oh, this person's a bad person just because you don't like the person. Or because he, rubbed you the wrong way or, shited you before in the past. Like, get the facts straight, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do here at Debates Among Friends. We get the facts because the people want the facts, and we provide them with the facts. Okay, I'm done.
I definitely understand. I actually got caught up. Something just popped on my screen. I'm always looking at Houston Rockets, Tampa Bay Buccaneers stuff, and it looks like one of our players actually wrote on the Great Wall of China with chalk, and then took pictures of it and completely disrespected all those people. So they were like really, really mad. So it just kind of caught me by surprise that you'd even it's the Great Wall. Like, why would you even do that?
They don't think that far ahead, but let's move on. Let's
Yeah.
because we're starting to cut
That's
a little bit
ridiculous.
on time. So let's
No,
talk
that's
about some WWE.
Right before we do that, one more thing just to throw in there.
By all means, go for it.
The Miami
your show.
Heat. No, definitely not. The Miami Heat not letting Chris Bosh get his walking papers. Quick thoughts on that, and then we could definitely move on to WWE. Like, what the heck?
I believe I said this earlier today, so I don't know if it's completely verbatim, but I'll definitely try my best.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to retire. He doesn't want to retire. They can't let him go. They can't cut him or anything like that because he has guaranteed money.
But it's like, what and how will they win this if he decides, hey, I'm not retiring, you're going to keep me on the books? I mean, they win nothing. They win nothing. If he doesn't go play,
nothing.
If he doesn't go play for another team, he's probably okay with that because it'll give him more time to heal and be ready, for when he does. And then he'll destroy them. But this is also his fault because he could have came to Houston when I told him to, and we would have been all good. And that's why they should all listen to the doctor.
Oh boy!
But now
First of all, hashtag Doctor got reads.
Doctors got reads. That's right. Reading is freaking fundamental.
Oh boy. Let's
go
move
into
on.
some
Let's
WWE.
move on. Let's just keep going.
Unphenomenal AJ Styles talk.
Your boy.
Your favorite character and your favorite move. It's the worst.
That is Little Brother Gotti, not Big Brother Gotti.
Oh, Little Brother Gotti, please. His worst move in the history of wrestling.
Although last night, the person he faced up against, whose name's been running wild all over the Twitter sphere, tucked his chin, or lack thereof, in during your favorite finishing move of all time, and nearly broke his neck.
And that's so crazy that you don't know. I hate it. The move should be officially banned. It should be banned. He should no longer be able to do it.
I thought that should be hilarious.
He should no longer be able to do it. Don't tuck your head during the Styles Clash. They probably told him that several times. But he's a jobber, so why is he even getting the spotlight right now?
Because it's supposed to help with the storyline for some reason.
What storyline? What in the world could this possibly be helping for anybody?
I have no clue.
Like, what in the world is going on? And that No Mercy. My God. What did you think about No Mercy? WTF, man.
It was nothing more. First of all, shout outs to King Ross.
Ross on Wrestling.
Ross on Wrestling at Ross on Wrestling Twitter handle. I mean, it was just there.
Yeah, it was there. First of
Like,
all, breaking news was that they are moving the main event to the number one match of the night,
which was because of the presidential debate.
which my initial thought was, isn't this the PG PCP
That's for
error?
kids.
This is for the new generation, right? The kids. Not
Yes.
for us, the grown, the people that were in the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. This is not for us. We're the ones that would probably be now saying this style of wrestling sucks. I'm going to watch the debate. So why not, through all of everything, stick with your guns? Say, hey, we're in this P era, and we want to go ahead and we're going to stick with who we have here and just move on.
Absolutely.
Let the pay per view run. This is a pay per view that we can go ahead and watch back on the network, which we pay for,
$9.99,
$9.99.
which will actually change too, but that's for another day for a different debate.
We'll see what happens with it. I mean, but my thing is like, why change because of the debate when the people who are watching the debate aren't the demographics of people that you're looking to attract?
Because Vince McMahon's a genius. And I mean that very sarcastically.
Sarcastically, and I figured that. I mean, and another thing, I mean, the match was just okay.
I mean, at least there was something that didn't happen for a long time. We had it's supposed to have been the IC title for the main event.
That
And
would
it
have
ended
been
up being the second match.
that would have been perfect.
I
But
mean,
then
the last
again,
time we had the IC title main event of pay-per-view was when, Doctor? Tell the people. Educate them.
well, I have no idea actually.
SummerSlam
93.
2.
Oh my god. Was that Bret Hart, I imagine?
Bret Hart versus British Bulldog. I remember all the other of the Gotti family watching it live, and one member of the Gotti family was in tears because her boo, Davy Boy Smith, was getting beat up by Bret Hart.
She just liked his braids.
She liked the braids and the pecs, but
Oh my god. God,
we have other big news for WWE.
We do. I mean, but hold on.
The biggest news of all is there's history being made at the next pay-per-view at Hell in a Cell, where we will have the first women Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Raw Women's title.
They gotta include Bayley in this somehow. They gotta get Bayley out there.
See, I'm okay with this match because it was a long time coming. They're still trying to gear towards Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania, which I'm okay with.
Charlotte's really doing her best, though. Charlotte is really doing her best to give.
Charlotte has improved so much.
She's really trying to
so
get
over as a heel, and she has to do it by herself for the most part. It's kind of tough with the whole Dana Brooke.
That Dana Brooke thing is just not working as far as a heel. Like Dana Brooke,
please retire.
Retire, please.
Plus, like Dana Brooke, you and Eva Marie get the players of the week.
But I will say, speaking of heels, that Carmella's doing a great job as a heel.
Yes, you've been very impressed with her.
I have been very impressed. You know, she's
the queen of Staten Island.
I think she should drop the moonwalk, possibly.
Whom apparently JBL kept saying that she's from Brooklyn.
She definitely says Staten Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two different.
Or as like King likes to say, it's John O'Clock!
WTF, JBL.
I can't say the rest. but you've been very impressed with her, though.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with her, as well as Naomi. I'm waiting for Naomi to get a push because she's another one that should be highlighting and really main event that women.
She is kind of highlighting with the whole neon thing, but I can continue.
Yeah, please. But she's really doing a good job. She's giving us really entertaining wrestling, and I really think they need to push her, not so much because she's a part of that Samoan heritage now, being married to one of the Usos, but she's also really good at what she's doing here.
She is. She's very athletic. She's the most athletic woman on the roster.
Better than those Bellas.
Second is Charlotte,
yeah. And then I would go with, Sasha.
I mean, that corkscrew moonsault.
Again, I don't know, because I don't
We're talking
know.
about just athleticism, not
Athleticism.
wrestling.
Okay. Yes, Charlotte, without question. There's a lot of the other girls. They just wrestle weird. I don't know. Bailey's pretty good. Bailey's good.
Oh, that was another question, actually. And we have about 3 minutes left before we have to do
Yes.
our final goodbyes. But what is your thought about news going around saying that Bailey may be overrated?
Oh man, that was so rough. I think people don't know what overrated really is. Like
You don't even know what 60
you don't even know what overrated is. In my opinion, Brock Lesnar is overrated.
I completely agree.
John Cena, overrated.
Overrated.
You know, people like that, they're overrated. Braun Strowman, overrated. You know what I mean? Some of these guys that you would expect to be like, oh, they're so great, but they're not. Bailey is really good. The reason why people think she's overrated is because she got this great following and this great pop. And the
She
thing,
gotten it in NXT,
right?
and it followed her to the main roster. Same
And
thing
that's
with
not her
Charlotte.
fault. That's
same
not her
thing
fault.
with Sasha. Same thing with Finn Balor. Same thing with Seth Rollins.
That's
Same
not her
thing
fault.
with Dean Ambrose. Not so much with Roman Reigns.
Dean Ambrose,
because
I
he
would
was
say.
quiet.
Dean Ambrose in the WWE. I don't know about his indie scene, but Dean Ambrose is overrated. And if AJ Styles didn't do all those phenomenal forearms and all some of those other moves, he would also be on that the overrated list. The Styles Clash is really putting him really close to that overrated list. But I'm going to digress because we're talking about Bailey. But Bailey, I think personally, is a good wrestler. I don't think she is overrated. I think right now she's underrated in that women's division. They just haven't her kind of be there. Not sure what she's doing right now.
Right now, she's just winning against jobbers. Like, she's basically having the Nia Jax treatment because she lost her first two major pay-per-views.
And where the heck did Nia Jax go all of a sudden? Why dominate all that time and then disappear after beating Alicia Fox? Who cares?
I mean, it's Alicia Fox.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, WTF, man.
WTF. But we're running out of time. We're going to do our final thoughts. Doctor, what is your final thoughts for the people?
AJ Styles sucks. No, but seriously, no. I thought the pay-per-view was okay. I was so happy not to see Eva Marie come out as Sister Abigail. And then on SmackDown, I got a little scared again. The lights went out, and I thought they were going to throw Eva Marie in there again. My heart jumped a little bit, and then they pulled the lights back on. I was like, thank God it's Luke Harper once again. This is perfect. But I was so happy not to see Eva Marie. Your final thoughts, sir?
My final thoughts is shout out to everyone who listened to us tonight.
Of course.
I mean, this is episode 23,
Yeah.
and we're both enjoying it. We're thinking about some other stuff in the works as well, too. But shout out to everyone who listened to us tonight.
Having a good time. Real good time.
Myself and the doctor will actually be flying out here to Texas this week. And we're going to do a little Facebook Live thing, so catch us then.
Jet fly.
But
Stealing. Wheeling dealing.
we're going to leave you with our track tonight from The Mad Violinist. If you haven't heard of him, you will hear of him now. This track is called My People featuring Chief. Track is pretty fire, and we'll leave you to it. Once again, thank you very much for catching us this Wednesday evening. I am Professor John Gotti,
And I'm the doctor.
and we'll catch you again next week. Same time, same place. Peace and love.
Roll the credits.
They who are Christians probably believe in the same God. Because they do believe in God who created the universe. And that's the one we believe in. The one who created the universe. That's a different way. You call him God. And we call him Allah. You call him Jehovah. If you could understand Hebrew, you probably call him Jehovah.
Bring your feeling into it, it's like another feeling. I ain't Marvin and Jesus, but let's commence the healing. I'm hurting, hence the feeling, but don't convince the meaning. I'm feeling, hence the hurting, but sit in reverse, I'm certain. Thinking about this person who's thinking it more to see me. Thinking I'm cheap, almighty, pulling I'm more than freely. With working comes the profit, when typing to computers. With profit comes the working, but sit in reverse, it's true. People don't think I'm committed to plans already drew up. Mario Figaro, Amadeus, cause I'm a doer, biting up. And those who see your eyes to take a slice of what get landed on. And brain rock like Plymouth did Christ counselor, dodging it, like conversations with people monotonous. It's hard to see, but when I get my clear eyes, ain't no stopping us. We keep it moving like pessimistic, nomadic family, and I'ma keep telling the truth till you can't stand me.
Great statement, yet that scaffold sways the future. And the devil man standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth Christians will rise again. The Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow.
I spit for the wealthy, and I spit for the kindest people. Spit for the optimistic, and spit for the finest keeper. Spit for the variation, and spit for the very nation that enslaved my people and are steadily mistreating Haitian. Spit for the old and Rico, the young and energetic, and spit for those who think it's smart for saying so pathetic. You're not supposed to get it, like postulates from Euclid. I won't even try it, but set in reverse and stupid. Not keep it day and night separate, like Condoleezza Rice and Don McKirkland on the checklist. The local meter man don't wanna test it. They speaking in cacophonies. Shorties wanna ride, but get off of me. I spit it for the folk who function properly, who think they passed the go. And I can safely say there's none of us, you asymptote. I wrote this exponential, they call me lumberjack, while other cats be raising their hands asking for extra pencil.
No, since the federal government has shown that it isn't going to do anything about the car, then it is a duty. It's your and my duty. As men, as human beings, it's our duty to our people to organize ourselves and let the government know that if they don't stop it, we'll stop it ourselves. And then you'll see the government start doing something about it. But don't ever think that they're going to do it just on some kind of morality basis. No.